What is going on YouTube? Crafty here, and we are back again with another Clash Royale video. Today we're going to be doing another top 5 video. Sorry if it sounds like I'm speaking a little bit quietly. It is currently 1 a.m. and I have housemates that are sleeping, so I'm trying to respect them. But yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me. I'll turn up the volume in the video. So like I said, we're going to be doing another top 5 video. Today we're going to be doing the top 5 cards that people seem to think are overpowered, but may not necessarily be so. And so obviously these are all my personal opinions. If you guys have your own opinions, leave them down in the comments. While you're down there, go ahead and drop a like. It helps my channel out a ton. I'm currently trying to grow and not seeing a whole lot of growth, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I know you guys can see that. Let's go ahead and kick it off with number 5. Number 5, I would say, is kind of a controversial one, but I'm going to go ahead and say the Battle Ram. This card right now is seeing a lot of flack just because of the current pushing meta that we have going on, the bridge spam meta, and people kind of really want, like, I've seen a lot of calls on Reddit for a nerf for this card. In my opinion, I don't think that it's the greatest card in the game. It is definitely a good card, and it provides a ton of damage if it connects to the tower. You can see here at Tournament Standard, 492 damage if it connects to the tower, and when it breaks or when it connects or whatever, it's going to drop out into 2 Barbarians, which we know that Barbarians are okay, but this card is very easily shut down. It's not super easily shut down for a positive elixir trade, so I could see how that could be an issue. Like, but I know the Elektra Wizard completely shuts it down, while also I think it lives. Maybe if the Elektra Wizard's level 2, I can't remember. But there are some cards that can completely shut it down, but the trades are kind of iffy. That's why I put this at number 5. I do think that it is a very good card, especially right now in the current meta, but I don't think it is as broken as people were saying, and I don't think it needs to be nerfed, simply because give it a couple more weeks, or maybe I guess in about 2 months when the new update comes out, this card may actually completely fall out of meta. We don't know yet. So yeah, just give this card some time, and I think it'll be a little bit less overpowered. Alright guys, so for number 4, this one right here is a card that I see get complained a lot by some lower level players. It's a card that's very, very desirable. It's usable in many decks, and that would be the Executioner. A lot of people seem to think that this card is going to be the card, like once they get it, that it's going to be the card that makes it so that they're going to push to, you know, Grandmasters, like 5,000 trophies. No, it's not. This card is good. It's a good card. Executioner is very well rounded. I kind of see it as a more well-rounded wizard, a wizard that can't be fireballed away. But that being said, for what it's worth, I don't think it's broken, and the reason being that it is too easily shut down for a positive elixir trade. A knight can take out an executioner if you let the executioner push to the other side of your bridge and then you distract it. His axe very often misses the target that you're aiming for. For example, if you're trying to kill out a minion horde, for example, he'll attack like 2 and then like the other 4 coming at him, and it can be really frustrating. He's definitely not broken. He's a good card. Doesn't need nerf, none of those things. So he got his nerf, and honestly I think he's in a good spot right now, but a lot of people seem to think that he's like overpowered. The next card right here is a card that I could say is kind of debatable, and I think the next 3 cards are all somewhat debatable. Well, number 1 is not. This one is kind of debatable whether or not it is overpowered, but I think it's countered pretty easily if you play your deck right, and if you have the right deck to play against it. And this card right here at number 3 is the good old trusty Golem here. So the reason why I would say that a lot of people think this card is overpowered is because the Golem provides the best push in the entire game. At 4,256 health at meta level, and then you also have the Golemite, which is another 864, multiply that by 2, roughly 1,700 health. So this dude's rocking almost 7 or 6,000 health even, and that's kind of ridiculous. That is by far the strongest tank in the game. I think the next one being the P.E.K.K.A, I believe, or yeah, so the P.E.K.K.A at 3458. Let's check on Giant. So the next one being the P.E.K.K.A as the next strongest at Tournament Standard at least. So this card is definitely definitely rocking some crazy health here. You saw that it's got a 2,500 more health than the next character down. It does tons of damage on the tower if it connects, 529 per hit, and when it blows up it does 259, so you can clone this dude and that's 500 damage automatically if he's on the tower and he blows up. Not to mention if he hits or anything like that. But I think he's easily countered. You drop a if you play your cards right, so let's look at this deck right here, right? This counters Golem decks so easily, unless I'm getting pumped out and they're pumping me consistently and I'm unable to be able to make a push. Say they have pump and log and zap, then I probably won't be able to do a whole lot, but I will be able to stop them. So basically what you do is a lot of people are going to be running lightning or an E-Wiz with their Golem. What you're going to do is you're going to set down your Inferno Tower, and you're going to let your Inferno Tower do its thing. Make sure there's nothing in front of the Golem tanking the Inferno Tower. Whenever you see the E-Wiz pushing up across the bridge, you drop your Knight off to the side to draw the E-Wiz so he gets no hits on the Inferno Tower. Once the Golem goes down and turns into Golemites, you don't really have to worry about it anymore, because you kind of do because they're going to be tanking, but that's all they're going to do. They don't really do a whole lot of damage, so worry about all the other troops first, then kill out the Golemites if you need to. So the Golem is, in my opinion, really easily countered by the Inferno Tower, Inferno Dragon. You could also Skarmy him out or Goblin Gang him out. Obviously, Skarmy and Goblin Gang are easily killed by Log or Zap, so you do have to be careful with that. Inferno Tower, Inferno Dragon are the best ways to counter it. So yeah, that is my Golem review right there, and let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is a card that definitely makes a lot of people angry, and for me it's a very annoying card to play against, but I don't think it's broken, and I think it actually is not the greatest card in the game. This right here would be the Royal Giant. So look at a Royal Giant. I have mine over leveled at level 10, 159 damage per second, or damage per shot, 93 per second at tournament standard. At level 10 it's a little bit more here. Doesn't have the greatest health in the game at 2500 for a tank at least, and he's fairly easy to kill while only making him get 1 to maybe even no shots. If you tornado this guy and you have some big heavy like say Skarmy, you can take him out pretty easily for that'd be an even elixir trade, but there's other ways to do it as well. Wow, my nose is really itchy today, holy crap. So yeah, he's definitely a card that makes people really angry to play against, especially if he gets a successful push. But I don't think he's broken. I think he's actually one of the easiest tanks to tank out in the game. When you get to a higher level in the meta, you actually don't see him hardly at all. I don't think he's that great. He's just really overpowered for about 200 trophies or so, right when you hit Jungle Arena, and the arena right before this is Royal Arena. People really start finding an issue with him, but once you play against him enough, he becomes no issue, and he's actually not that great. So seems OP, not really OP. Let's move on to our number 1 card here. Oh, not the Fireball. Teased you guys with that one. It's these guys right here, right next to the Royal Giant. We have the Elite Barbarians at number 1. You guys can see that I actually invested a lot into the Elite Barbarians. He's level 11, and I think this is my only level 11 common. I thought these things were so incredibly OP. You can see their numbers. The numbers tell you that, tell you the story here. There's 2 of them, 307 damage per hit, 204 per second. If you go back to tournament standard, it's still really high. At about 1,000 health, that is very strong. 6 elixir is their main downside here, and they can be countered by a lot of different things such as Graveyard, Valkyries, other things like that. Now, there's such a heavy thing to invest in. 6 elixir for potentially getting countered very easily is kind of annoying. Now, the reason why so many people have issues with Elite Barbarians is the fact that they are constantly played as like a bridge spam, and basically they're used to catch people off guard, much like bridge spam meta is right now with Night Witch, Bandit, Battle Ram, stuff like that. The Battle Ram and the Bandit that are going to be right on the tower instantly doing tons of damage. That's pretty much what Elite Barbarians were doing before, except that was I guess technically that push is a little bit more expensive, but yeah, I would be running Elite Barbarians with Fire Spirits, and if you set it down at the right time, you're going to take a tower, and a lot of people were annoyed by that, but once you learn how to take your game slow and get patient and know your enemy's deck. So if you know they have Elite Barbarians and you know they're in rotation, you should never be overcommitting to Elixir, and these guys never become a problem unless you overcommit. If you overcommit, then yeah, expect them to take a tower. So they are a really annoying punishment card, but they're not overpowered. I think every time I make one of these top 5 videos, we get a siren going by. Man, that's 2 cop cars. Alright, so we are back. Oops. So yeah, like I said, Elite Barbarians, I don't find them to be completely overpowered. I do find them to be very good. Let me know if you guys have a top 5 cards that seem OP, but are not necessarily the most overpowered cards in the game. I do have, yeah, leave that down in the comments below. And like I said earlier, while you're down there, hit up the like button. It helps me out a ton. So I do have 2 honorable mentions. Now, the first honorable mention here, I've talked about a couple times in this game, is the Bandit. The reason why I would say the Bandit is not overpowered, but it seems overpowered, is that the Bandit is kind of involved in the same stuff going on with the Battle Rim here and the Night Witch. The Bandit basically is part of that that's bridge spam meta, and a lot of people don't like this card because if it gets to the tower, it's going to be doing tons of damage, and it's kind of hard to react to too. If you don't see this card coming and you don't know they have it, sometimes it can be hard for you to drop a card before it gets its dash off, simply because cards have a lot of lag for them to go down. And then my last card that I would say, this is my second honorable mention here, is the Elektra Wizard. A lot of people have kind of an issue with him. He's kind of seen his nerfs. A lot of people had an issue with him before, and people still do. His ability to slow characters while also stun out things like Sparky or Inferno Tower, Inferno Dragon, make this card seem like it's a little bit overpowered, especially because it has a zap effect on entry. If you get this card over leveled, mine's level 2, almost level 3, he can be a real big nuisance against the people you're fighting, and he can be an awesome support card behind like a Golem, like I was talking about earlier. So people do get annoyed by him, and I could see where you would feel that he's overpowered, but he can be countered out by pretty easy things like a Knight for a positive elixir trade. And if you put any damage out on him, it's going to reduce the amount of damage he does to the tower on a lone push by a ton. I see Elektra Wizards getting a lone push over to the other side. They call that term naked, so like a naked Elektra Wizard on the other side. If you get any damage out on him, he's going to be not doing a whole lot. So he is pretty easily countered, and that is why he is an honorable mention. That's pretty much it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys haven't seen my last top 5, my last top 5 was the top 5 most underrated cards in the game. And yeah, go ahead and check that out. I'll put a link down in the description. And until next time, guys, peace out and God bless.